Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources and, well, we pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight.
That's the plan.
And today we're embarking on a pretty profound deep dive, actually. We're looking at an ancient text that really speaks to timeless human experiences, Psalm 55.
Yeah, it does.
You've sent us some incredible material, and our mission today is basically to unpack its core message and discover how its wisdom can be applied to our lives right now, especially when it comes to maybe strengthening our trust and relationship with a higher power.
Right, particularly when things get tough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even in those most challenging moments.
And Psalm 55, it's a truly remarkable piece of writing, just brimming with raw, unfiltered emotion.
It really is.
What's so fascinating, I think, is how it captures such a universal human experience, that searing pain of betrayal.
Yeah.
And that desperate search for solace, when the world feels like it's crumbling around you. It's really a testament to the human spirit's resilience, I think, and its longing for something steadfast, something reliable.
Okay, so to really get it, to understand Psalm 55, we kind of need to step into the shoes of David, the author.
Right.
At this moment of, profound crisis for him. I mean, imagine being so utterly overwhelmed by fear, anxiety, feeling hunted.
Yeah.
That your deepest desire is simply to vanish, just disappear.
Yeah.
What's his emotional landscape like right at the start of this prayer?
David is in a state of deep anguish. It's described as a heartfelt lament.
A lament.
Yeah, an outpouring. He talks about being tormented by his enemies, just utterly overwhelmed by fear and unrest. He's pleading with God to listen.
Don't ignore me.
Exactly. Don't hide from my petition. Deliver me from my troubles. The psalm so vividly portrays his pain, describing his heart as sore pain within me.
Oh.
And the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me.
That's intense.
It is. It's not just like general worry. It's a full-blown emotional storm, a real crisis.
And from that storm, that emotional chaos, comes this incredibly vivid expression of desperation, doesn't it? This yearning for escape. He uses such powerful imagery.
Oh, absolutely. He cries out, "Oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then would I fly away and be at rest.
Fly away and be at rest."
Lo, then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest.
So what's he saying there, really?
In essence, David's saying, if only I could just sprout wings and fly away from all this.
Right.
I long to find a desolate, peaceful wilderness, a place of absolute quiet and safety, far from this crushing fear and the chaos surrounding me. It paints a picture of someone so beleaguered they just want to, cease to exist in that moment.
That desire for total escape.
Oh.
I think many of us can relate to that feeling when life just feels unbearable. But David's pain seems to cut even deeper. It's not just general opposition or the threat of enemies, is it?
No, not just that.
What does the psalm reveal about the true source of his most profound anguish, the real heart of the pain?
And this raises a really essential question about the nature of his suffering, what's making it so bad.
Right.
And the psalm highlights that it wasn't an obvious external enemy that caused this deepest cut. David explicitly states it.
What's he say?
He says, "For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it."
Okay, so an enemy he could handle.
Yeah. "Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him." But then comes the blow.
Yeah.
"But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance."
Oh, wow. His equal, his guide.
"We took sweet counsel together and walked unto the house of God in company." This wasn't just some adversary. This was a close friend.
Confidant.
A trusted confidant, someone he shared intimate spiritual experiences with. That betrayal from someone inside his inner circle, someone he trusted so completely, that cuts far deeper than any open hostility ever could.
You could almost feel the sting of that. And that chilling description he gives of his betrayer. About words smoother than butter, but concealing war in his heart.
Yeah, it's devastating imagery.
And words softer than oil, yet being drawn swords. It just brings the insidious nature of that deception to life, doesn't it?
It really does. It captures the essence of betrayal in a way that resonates across centuries.
It really makes you wonder, when you're faced with such profound pain, such a gut-wrenching betrayal like that, what's left to do?
Right. Does he just collapse?
Does David simply collapse under the weight of it all, or does he find a different path?
And that's, I think, the turning point of the psalm. It's crucial. Despite all this emotional turmoil, this vivid description of betrayal, and even, the natural human desire for vengeance.
Which he does express.
Oh, yeah, he expresses that. He wishes destruction upon them. But ultimately, he pivots. He chooses to place his trust, his entire burden, in God's hands.
Instead of revenge.
Instead of personal revenge, yeah. He declares, "As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me." He even recalls past deliverances.
How God helped before.
Exactly. He notes, "He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me." This past experience, it seems to bolster his present resolve.
Yep.
And then comes that powerful, pivotal instruction. It feels like it's not just for him, but for all of us.
What is it?
"Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved, but I will trust in thee."
Cast your burden upon the Lord.
Yeah. He shifts from despair and that desire for personal retaliation to looking forward towards divine intervention and peace, relying on God's steadfast support.
That shift is truly remarkable. So, okay, let's bring this home. How do these ancient words, this profound emotional journey of David written millennia ago,
Yeah.
how does this actually strengthen our trust and relationship with a higher power
Yeah.
in modern lives? What timeless lessons can we pull from this for our own daily struggles with anxiety, maybe betrayal?
Well, if we connect this to the broader human experience, Psalm 55 offers some incredibly timeless insights, really practical stuff for dealing with betrayal, anxiety, deep emotional turmoil.
Okay, like what?
So the first crucial lesson, I think, is the radical honesty of expressing pain.
Radical honesty.
Yeah. What's truly revolutionary about David's prayer here isn't just that he expresses pain, but that he directs his raw, unvarnished anguish towards a higher power.
Right to God.
Without filtering, without pretense. This isn't just venting into the void. It's an act of radical vulnerability that fundamentally reshapes the relationship.
So for us today,
For us today, this means it's not only okay, but actually vital to admit feelings of fear, betrayal, anxiety, even the messy, ugly ones directly to God.
don't hide them.
No. Suppressing emotions can actually worsen the pain and create a barrier. Being authentic with our feelings is a crucial step in building a genuine, open relationship with God. It allows that higher power to truly meet us where we actually are, not where we pretend to be.
That makes sense, that authentic expression. But for many people, admitting such raw emotions, especially to a higher power, can feel incredibly vulnerable, maybe even risky.
It absolutely can.
So what does David's openness suggest about the kind of trust he was cultivating?
Well, it suggests a pretty profound level of trust, doesn't it? A belief that God can handle the full spectrum of human emotion, even anger and despair, without withdrawing.
Okay.
And that leads directly into our second insight, the profound impact of broken trust. David's experience powerfully shows that betrayal from a trusted friend, an equal, someone you walked with.
Yeah, the details matter.
They do. It hurts far more deeply than from an open enemy. And in our modern lives, whether it's friendships, family, work, betrayal by those close to you wounds deeply and requires, honestly, extensive healing.
It really does.
Recognizing and understanding this profound, unique pain allows us to seek deeper comfort and healing from a divine source. It reinforces our need for God's steadfastness precisely when human relationships falter.
Which leads right into the next point, doesn't it? About where David ultimately turned when everything else seemed to be falling apart.
Exactly.
And how that informs our own search for solace.
Yes, the third key insight is actively seeking refuge and support from a higher power in distress. Amid all that intense anxiety and danger, David consistently sought God as his ultimate place of refuge and strength.
He kept going back.
He describes praying evening and morning and at noon, crying aloud for God to hear his voice. This wasn't a one-off desperate plea. It was sustained, deliberate turning towards God.
So for us,
this means actively turning to trusted spiritual practices, prayer, meditation, maybe trusted mentors or communities for comfort during stressful times, just like David turned to God. This deliberate act of seeking refuge directly strengthens our trust and reliance on a higher power, knowing there's always a safe harbor,
yeah, a place to go. And instead of seeking immediate personal revenge, which, as you said, he clearly feels inclined to do.
Oh, yeah. Those harsh words about his enemies show that.
Right. But there's another path he ultimately chooses. How does that translate for us today?
That's the fourth powerful insight. Choosing faith in divine justice over personal vengeance. While David initially expresses a desire for God to punish his betrayers, God shall hear and afflict them, he says he ultimately trusts that God will bring judgment and restore order.
In his own time.
In his own time and his own way. And this allows David to release that heavy burden of needing to get personal retribution.
Which is exhausting.
Totally exhausting. So in our modern conflicts, resisting that powerful urge to retaliate, to get even, it protects your own peace. And it invites healthier resolution, both for you and maybe for the situation itself.
So trusting God with the justice part.
Trusting a higher power to handle justice rather than taking it into our own hands, it deepens our faith in the sovereignty of that power and its ultimate plan.
Okay. And finally, that really liberating instruction we heard earlier, the core takeaway maybe for anyone feeling overwhelmed and just buried under life's anxieties.
Yes, the fifth point is the transformative value of releasing burdens through surrender. David's prayer culminates in this act of surrender, right? Acknowledging his limits and God's immense power when he's told, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee."
Sustain thee, support you.
Exactly. And this isn't passive resignation like just giving up. It's an active, intentional choice.
How so?
Well, when you're overwhelmed by worries or anxieties, things like prayer, meditation, or even just writing down your concerns, they can help you literally let go of burdens you simply can't carry alone.
Hand them over.
Precisely. This act of surrender is a profound act of trust in God. It's acknowledging that he is capable of sustaining us when we cast our anxieties upon him. It lets us find peace, maybe even strength right in the middle of the storm. It's really an invitation to lean into that divine support.
So if we pull all these threads together then, this song isn't just some historical lament from David thousands of years ago.
No, it's much more.
It's like a living, breathing guide for navigating our deepest pains and actually strengthening our relationship with a higher power. It's about cultivating authentic honesty in our struggles, actively seeking refuge, trusting in divine justice, even when we really long for personal payback.
Which is so human.
Right. And ultimately surrendering our overwhelming burdens to a power far greater than ourselves.
Absolutely. This deep dive truly reveals that raw honesty with our emotions, coupled with that intentional act of casting our burdens, it can transform our struggles, turn them into opportunities for profound connection and ultimately inner peace.
Yeah.
It's a powerful lesson in active faith and trust, which I suppose raises an important question for you, our listener.
Go on.
How will you apply this information, David's journey, in your own life? How will you lean into that radical honesty, perhaps? Or maybe cast a specific burden you've been carrying?
That's a great question to sit with. What an incredibly insightful deep dive into Psalm 55. It really gives us a kind of blueprint for navigating personal turmoil, especially that piercing pain of betrayal.
It really does.
And it shows us a powerful path to building and deepening our trust in God. It's such a timeless reminder that even in the darkest, most isolating moments, seeking refuge and justice through faith and trusted support is both wise and ultimately profoundly healing.
Well said.
Thank you so much for sharing these sources and allowing us to take this deep dive with you today.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.